Thank you so much.
I'm his son. How's
Yeah, that was up in the fair. What are we supposed to collect? Yeah.
One up the road, Richmond Road. It's right up there going to your house. Yeah.
It's cute.
So they redid it. They redid that little entrance. That's where I've been. And then Janesville down to Janesville.
By 8 o'clock every night.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Hey, they do the jacket.
They're doing pretty good.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Kyle. Going into high school.
State organization.
More people than we had this morning. No, you just wasn't. Okay, ready, Stab? Come on in, Laurel. Be a stranger.
So much for our secret.
Oh, there we go again. Oh, my.
Onward and upward.
Are you deaf?
Pardon?
Okay, we ready?
I'm so surprised.
Okay, the board's gonna come back into session after lunch recess, and we're taking up item D5, which is our 1:30 time certain. And that's pretty much just a discussion and workshop, if you will, for the Honey Lake Valley Resource Conservation District. And I'm going to allow staff to make a couple of quick comments if they care to, and any other board members. We're happy to see everybody here. And obviously, I think we all have the same goal in mind, and that is to ensure the Honey Lake Valley RCD's ability to function and get their jobs done out there. They're a very valuable asset to this community, and appreciate everybody's volunteering to sit on the board and to help out on these resource issues. I think one Supervisor Chapman is probably not going to be joining us this afternoon, so it's just going to be the four of us. I think that, Marty, I might turn it over to you. Mr. Nichols, as most of you know, and you probably have in hand, or you saw it online, prepared a very short staff report. And I think that the paramount issue or point that he brought up, and I could read it, most of you have it, but it's pretty simple as to the relationship between the Board of Supervisors and the Resource Conservation District. The basic statutory relationship between the county and the RCD is one of complete independent units of local government. The county board has no authority to remove RCD board members, assume operation of the RCD, direct the actions of the district, or control its budget. Your board, referring to the Board of Supervisors, your board's only legal duty is, upon request of the RCD board, to appoint qualified persons to vacancies that periodically occur on that board due to resignation or expiration of individual member terms. So I think we're all here, as I said, for the same goal, and we're all after the same thing, but we really have no authority over the Resource Conservation District. But we're very happy to facilitate a discussion that may make the district, function just a little bit better. So Marty, I'll leave it to you if you want to go ahead, and then any board member can have an opening comment if they want to, and then we'll start the discussion.
Mr. Chairman, before we begin this item, we went into closed session following our regular morning agenda regarding my performance evaluation and direction me on some issues you've asked me to work on. The board provided direction to staff, and there were no reportable actions. Regarding my recommendations regarding options of the RCD, you I think covered very effectively the relevant points here.
That's because I read you verbatim. That's why.
That's why I thought it was relevant. As I see your options, and this is certainly not an exhaustive list. This is some of the things that occurred to me as you put this thing on the agenda. Obviously you could do nothing. You could just simply say, that this is an issue of the operation of the district. The issue should be decided by the voters of the district, and say, that you're going to no longer appoint members, to the board, and let the voters elect a member of a board of directors that best meets the interests of that community and the district. Option B is you could request the resignation of the existing directors. You can't compel their resignation. You just ask them to resign and go through a reappointment process, maybe potentially convening some sort of a stakeholders group that establish criteria as to what they believe is appropriate for a director, and nominating a slate of candidates to you that met that criteria. Maybe principal being which is that you're committed to working together to do the duties and fulfill the mission of the district. C, potentially through some sort of an initiative, or you could ask the district board. They could actually go to the voters and establish a governance charter, which could in effect would be a voter-approved ordinance that set the rules for the operation of the district. And the role of the chair, anything regarding the operation of the district could be worked out. And again, I'd sort of create a stakeholders group to help draft that. And once it passed, you'd have an operating procedure that the voters had mandated the district follow. Fourth is that you could ask the Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, and again, you're requesting that you can't compel the actions. LAFCO could abolish the district. Obviously that would leave a vacuum, and I'm not sure that that solves the problem, but that's an option. Two, you could establish a countywide resources conservation district. That would also be a LAFCO action. Maybe that would change the political texture of the district and maybe help provide a broader base of support for its operations. Or third, which is kind of another option, is potentially you could combine it with another resource conservation district. Resource conservation district, as I understand from our last officer, could cross county lines, so it could be a bi-county, district. Pitt River might be one of the ones that could be considered. My last option is, that since the Water Master Services seems to be the main area of contention, elsewhere in the state of California, local agencies, and the board could do this, could petition the legislature, we could ask logically Assemblyman Dahl to introduce legislation to create a special district to deal specifically with the Water Master Services issue. That would then become an independent agency, and the Honolulu Valley Resources Conservation District would be returned to what probably was its original mission, which is resource conservation issues. Another option that occurred to me that's not on my list is conceivably, and I've talked to some people about it, there are people that specialize in working with boards to try to help bring them together. Apparently there is a specialist that works with resource conservation districts. You'll learn this or another district elsewhere in the state, and conceivably, that kind of consultation would be another possible option.
Thank you very much. A couple of things I'd like to add, and I apologize for getting them in my prefatory remarks that I made. One, much of the impetus for this meeting and workshop today came from the fact that one of the chairman of the board, Mr. John Bentley, and one of the members of the community, if you don't mind my identifying you, Barbara, came to the board and kind of outlined, if you will, the issue of the functionality of the board and trying to get business done, and expressed frustration in that area. And so we the board of supervisors, especially Supervisor Wasik, suggested that we go ahead and have this kind of workshop environment. And I know that there are differences of opinion among board members. I think probably the best example I can give you how these differences can be worked out is sitting right up here among the five of us. About a year and a half ago, it was very public knowledge, all over the paper. 2 years ago, we certainly had a lot of issues we had to deal with. However, we all came, sat at the table, approved agendas, and tried to get business done as best we can. I think we accomplished that. So I certainly understand working with board members who have differences of opinion, but I still think you've got to sit down and get the business done. And one of the things I think where the county does have, if not a role to play, certainly, but has a stake in the game, if you will, is that because of our lack of human resources at times and so on and so forth, and the importance of resource issues, the county has, I don't want to use the word consciously, but we've certainly looked forward to facilitating the RCD and taking on some of the resource issues, most specifically in the recent past, the IRWMP process, which of course is a grant that they're working on. So we find the Resource Conservation District a very valuable tool to deal with resource issues in the Honey Lake Valley and the surrounding area. So that'd be all my comments. I don't know, Supervisor Wasik, if you want to, yes, Marty, and then we'll get to
Mr. Chairman, just one more technical point. The issue has been raised regarding the application of the Brown Act to today's meeting. This is obviously a legally constituted meeting of the Board of Supervisors and appropriately on your agenda for discussion. Question is raised whether or not the members of the RCD board will be here, and the county council has researched it and found appropriate section of the government code that you are working on.
Thank you. Supervisor Wasik, you want to start out?
Thank you.
Sure.
Before, I just had a quick question for Marty. Marty, you had touched on where you said the basic statutory relationship between the county and the RCD and what as a board we can and can't do. But then, can you just explain then how the meetings, like if you mentioned the opportunity with LAFCO to go to LAFCO and change the whole situation and the way the RCD functions. Can you just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, if that was the option that you would want to consider, somebody make a motion that we petition LAFCO to do one of the three options there. That would then go into the LAFCO work plan. LAFCO is going to do a master services study on various districts this year, and they'll probably add the RCD to that and consider these options as part of that review. As you are aware, LAFCO has a mandate to periodically review the operations of special districts for their appropriateness under the law. So we just asked them to add this to the workload and look at what options they came up with. Recommend one of my three.
Yeah, so It was just interesting because I understand you're saying we have no authority, but yet going another route, we can basically change.
You can start a process, that's right.
Yeah. I would just like to say that, personally, it's become, evident that the status quo, isn't really, whether we have authority or not have authority or what have you, just, doesn't seem to be, serving the best interests of Lassen County. There's the, there's very big and important grants that, we need to have a fair shot at getting. And I don't believe the way it's going, where we are. The community, as a whole, is, it seems like it has one or two strikes against it as far as competing for these, resource, grants to do good work for everybody that lives here. And it's all been, a big, ruckus about the water master, and it seems like that's where, the controversy is coming, and I'm hopeful that the meeting will be productive and not really, a big argue fest and accusations. I mean, it would be nice, yes, if people think some wrongs have been done. It's important to bring it up, but more important than bringing up the shortcomings is